Hi, my friends. More reason why I love doing this YouTube channel. I had an email from a lady in Rochester, and she writes in, Josh, thank you for your videos, all you do. I was told 20 years ago that I needed $2.2 million to retire, and I've been living in fear this whole time. Your video is just a breath of fresh air, and it has allowed me to relax and finally enjoy thinking about retirement. Man, that's, I'm sweating because I'm going for a walk. Sorry if you're wondering about that. That's the kind of stuff that, man, I love it. I love it. I love, you know, you don't have to send me that just because I mean, look, I'm not saying, hey, I want everybody to send me that kind of stuff. Don't do that. I mean, if you want to, it's fine. But I'm not saying it to sweat myself like, oh, you're so great, Josh. But the idea that 20 years ago, someone said they needed $2.2 million to retire. And she's been living in fear the whole time. And every year she's creeping forward to retirement. And she probably didn't have 2.2 million, or maybe she has 1.6. I have no idea what she's got, 1.6. And she's like, I'm still 33% short of where I need to be. I can't retire. It's nuts, man. And just hearing those kind of, emails, it's not, look, man, I'm not whistling past the graveyard. I'm not telling you stuff that isn't realistic. I put it on paper and I show you. I just love it. I love that stuff. And it motivates me to no end. And that's why I can't stop doing it. That's why I do so many videos. Because there's a reality that's not being looked at. And I just did a video where I talked about the negativity of it. The negativity sells. People have an inclination to be negative. And I get that more so than positive. And we know this. But that doesn't mean you got to be negative and avoid those positive. And that doesn't mean if you focus on the positive, you're avoiding the negative. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is there's two sides to every story. And the only side we seem to hear in the mainstream media by financial advisors is how you're doomed. And I'm tired of that. I've been tired of that for a long time. And so I love it. So anyway, Carol, thanks for the email. I love that stuff. I mean, that motivates me like I can't say. So I appreciate that. And folks, if you're just wondering, that just because old Carol I say old Carol, I don't know how old she is, but just because Carol writes in that she's feeling better because of my videos, that doesn't mean you should be. You got to do your own number crunching for sure. But once you do it, I think you'll find you'll be in a pretty good place after in a reality-based retirement planning scenario, not based on, again, spending $50,000 a year and adjusting that each and every year for 3% inflation. What's the basis for that? What is the evidence of that? The evidence is the other way. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing retirement planning scenarios, why are you saying I need $50,000 a year today? Well, I need 80% of my pre-retirement salary. Why? Why do we say that? Well, yeah, I don't really know. All right, and if you do say that, why do we need 80% of your pre-retirement salary adjusted each and every year inflation? Why? Because inflation grows at 8% a year or 3% a year. Will that mean your spending will grow? Yeah. Why? What's the evidence? Literally, what's the evidence? Of people who have retired, what's the evidence that's going to happen? You don't know. So it's all based on a facade. Now, it might be true for you. I don't know. But we got to find out, is it true? If it's not true, then we got to reframe and refocus. You got to start, junk in, junk out. Any computer programmer will tell you that. So you got to start with reality. If your reality is wrong and you're using that wrong reality to start your retirement planning, then inherently means your retirement planning is going to be wrong. Don't do that. Get a gauge of what your true expenses are going to be. And the problem is you don't know what they're going to be. So that's why I don't say 80% because we don't know that. We don't know. So what we do is we probably say, okay, what are you going to spend money on? What's your house, your mortgage, your taxes, your property taxes, your food consumption? Your health care, what are these, your utility bill, what are we going to spend on? And then you can say, okay, I think I'll spend that, I think I'll spend that, I think I'll spend that, okay. Now, will we spend that each and every year adjusted for inflation? I got an ant on me. Will we spend that each and every year adjusted for inflation? I don't know. Your travel, will you spend that each and every year adjusted for inflation? I don't know. Your taxes, are they going to be the same, similar to what you're paying now? I highly suspect they won't. So use a real number, not some just falsified thing that's just a rule of thumb. That's not acceptable. You got to do it more specifically. And when you do, and you see the numbers as they really are, based on people who actually have retired and what their actual expenditures are, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, as our friend Carol here is. Now, that might not be the case for you. I don't know, but it's up to you to figure it out. No rules of thumb. No rules of thumbs apply here. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for the email, Carol. That's freaking awesome.